I'm continuing to expand my holly collection since the roots are resistant to armillaria root rot, and they're pretty resilient plants when it comes to cold and heat to begin with. So here is a tall and thin example of the ilex crenata, Japanese holly. This is the Steeds cultivar, and I believe I got this at Home Depot. So this one is typically a multi-trunked tree, and you can see I trimmed off another little side trunk there because I want a single trunk tree for all of my trees. Evergreen, obviously, a broadleaf evergreen. And this one I think has a pretty pyramidal growth habit. You can see that the branches come off at nice, almost 45-degree angles, and I think that branching pattern will continue in the entire tree, and that's going to result in a nice conical shape. Small dark green leaves. It has, I believe, a small inconspicuous flower at some point. And this is basically just another species entered into my holly collection that is growing. And as a reminder, I'm branching out into hollies because of the armillaria root rot in the soil, and their roots are resistant to that. Let's check another holly. This one is called the Oakland Holly. It is an oak leaf style holly that I purchased at Lowe's, and it's a hybrid holly between 3 different Chinese species of holly, similar to the Liberty holly that I had. This one is ilex cornuta, ilex pernyi, and ilex latifolia. And I somewhat hesitated buying this one because the latifolia means it's not going to be as cold hardy, but I think that extreme cold we had is so rare that it probably shouldn't affect my purchase decision when it comes to holly, because I believe all of my hollies ultimately will survive and leaf back out, and I think the same would be true for this one. So Oakland holly, they can get pretty large. It's got a pretty good branching structure. It looks like they've sheared it a little bit here to keep it in this kind of egg shape, but I'm gonna obviously not shear it when I let it grow on my property. It's gonna I'm gonna maintain a single trunk and let the branches do what they do and let it get as tall as it can get. I think they can get pretty tall, like up to 20 feet tall over time. So that's Oakland holly. And here's another holly that came from Lowe's. I've had my eye on this cultivar for a while. I believe this is a cultivar of ilex pernyi, which is a type of Chinese holly. The marketing name for it is Christmas Jewel, and I think it's fairly common in the horticultural trade, so it probably won't take much searching to find the Christmas Jewel holly. I like the fact that it has these relatively small leaves. It's pretty dark green on the established foliage, and it looks like the branching structure is also fairly decent. The angle that the branches come at is a pretty good angle, so I don't think I'll have any trouble letting this grow into a nice conical shape. Cold tolerance is maybe not as much as I would prefer, since it's a holly from southern and central China, but I think it'll survive most of the winters we have here, so I'm going to give it a shot. And as a bonus, one more tree that is not a holly. This one is the Portuguese laurel, Prunus lusitanica. I have English laurel already and Carolina laurel, so this is going to be probably my third and last laurel species that I try to grow here in Middle Tennessee. Portuguese laurel. This came from coniferkingdom.com. I believe they still have them in several different sizes. So give it a shot if you want to try Portuguese laurel. I think it's supposed to be more cold hardy than English laurel. That's a good thing. So we'll see what it does.